Alright, so new relics dropped in Mcoc, and these are pretty dang interesting. So, the first one here is the Mr. Sinister relic, and this is a self-bleed relic, which is pretty weird, right? But it honestly does work pretty well, it seems. So, the Striker inflicts a bleed onto you for 4 seconds, so, champions like Domino and Omega Red will get massive benefits for it. Additionally, the signature ability lets the Striker debuff to be replaced again, or to be triggered again, which is pretty dang good. And for those 4 characters, it is guaranteed to trigger again. So yeah, seems pretty good on paper, right? And for the abilities, there's precision cuts, so where whenever you are bled or immune to a bleed, you get a precision, pretty dang good. And then for the ability 2, it's the same thing but with the cruelty, which is also pretty dang good. And for the attributes, you have minus 15% opponent champion bleed potency, which isn't too bad. And then you have some attack rating while bleeding, which is pretty good. And then you have some prowess potency as well. So I feel like the best champions here will probably be Domino, Omega Red, and the champions listed as in the list. Colossus, Namor, Toad, and Storm. And probably Soren as well, to be fair. Now, next up, the Ghost Rider relic is for degeneration characters, which is pretty interesting. That's pretty dang niche, but it's also pretty cool. So the Striker inflicts a degen vulnerability debuff, which is pretty good. And the signature ability, the next degen that you inflict provides plus 35% potency, and it also inflicts another vulnerability passive for 4 seconds, which is pretty good, right? And for the attributes, there's plus 10% direct damaging effect potency, there's plus 20% stagger duration, which is really good for Mcoc. So if you have a 7-star Mcoc, he's going to be really good with this. And then plus 10% power gain potency for Ebony Maw. Not too bad there. And for the abilities, there is a vicious passive, which is pretty good, and you get flat potency for Mojo and Ebony Maw and Purgatory as well, so that's pretty sweet. And then the second one is you get amplify passive, which increases your power rate, which is pretty cool as well. And for Purgatory, Maw, and Mojo, it gets increased potency. So yeah, not too bad overall. For Mojo, really good. For Mcoc, also pretty good. So I feel like they will be probably the best 2 characters for it. Now we have the SpiderMan relic, and I feel like this one is the best one here probably. So the Striker inflicts a physical vulnerability debuff for 16 seconds, which is pretty good. And the signature ability is physical vulnerability effects gain plus 10% potency for each wither, taunt, or enervate on the opponent for a max stack of 5, so up to 50% potency on that, which is pretty dang sweet, man. Especially for Spider-Man Classic, who has a physical vulnerability on the SP2. And for the abilities, whenever you are immune to a buff like Spider-Man 2099 or it expires on yourself, you inflict another physical vulnerability, which can also be increased with the signature ability. So yeah, that's pretty good overall. And the second one is you gain immunity to the next precision mastery that you get, or dexterity mastery, sorry, and you replace it with a wither passive, which is very, very good, right? So yeah, that's a massive bonus for some champions to give them dexterity immunity. Really, really strong there. The attributes are nice too, but the biggest one here is a minus 9.6% opponent physical resistance. So yeah, not too bad there. And the best options for this relic are definitely Spider-Man 2099 and just anyone that is listed here for the benefits, Spider-Gwen, Miles Morales, and especially Spider-Man Classic. So yeah, these relics look pretty good. Let me know your thoughts on these relics. I feel like they will honestly be pretty good overall, and they'll be really great pools in the future for sure. So yeah, overall, pretty good relics, and that's about it for me.